Welcome to our Strong Day podcast, our podcast family, Strong Day podcast fam. So today we're talking about using your problems to fuel your success. Well, the first thing that would come to mind is like, why? Why? And how? So if you come to this channel today and you are experiencing the same problem over and over and over again, stay till the very end of this podcast, because we're going to discuss some things that's going to help you today to look at problems and handle problems in a way that you wouldn't have even dreamt of before. So this is today's podcast. It's all about using the problem to fuel your success. Okay, so let's go, and please make a comment down below. Is this something that you've come across before? Have you had a certain problem that's just seemed to be coming back over and over again? How can you and how will you use it to fuel your success? So let's go. And while we're going, you may have examples that might come to mind, that you might think, okay, I do have this I have done this before. Because sometimes we can't think about the good things because we're so focused on the things that have not gone well. So let's start with the question of why. Well, I think as human beings, when we get the same problem and it keeps coming up over and over and over again, the natural question would be is why? And I'm going to suggest, because I've suggested to myself as well, that I stop asking why and start asking how. Because if this problem is coming back over and over again, presenting itself in all different shapes or form, the answer isn't why. There's a pattern. It's how. So I want to do the how. I've used the graphic. It took me a while to create this graphic and to review this graphic. But this graphic itself is the answer if you look at it. So if you look at the how, what is it about a problem? Well, I'm going to do it like using symbols, like using symbolisms, as it would say, or examples by using actual things that represent is another word. So we have this person, or we have ourselves carrying this big, massive boulder. It's heavy, it's backbreaking, there's no doubt about it. It's not something a ball that you're doing like that with, you know. It's a boulder. You have to hold on to it with every sense of your arms around it. Your back is in it. Your stomach is being held in. It's holding it in, right? So how are we going to turn that heavy living thing into our success? I think we're going to go back from square one. So think about a bodybuilder. Often you see them in these big massive championships. They have these really big heavyweight. So one boulder on one side, one on the other. Split the problem in half, as it were. Put one on one side, one. It's heavy, really heavy. Normally they lift, but before they lift, they normally have a big belt that they put around the waist to hold the spine, to support them. And they then go down and they lift, and they think, and they think, and they lift, and then they drop. Just about got to their ankle, they can't lift it anymore. It's like that with the problem. We just about lift it, we think about it. There seems to be no solution to this. We just lift it a little bit, just a little bit. With quote scriptures, we do positive declarations, we do so many things, and still it comes back and faces up us. And the whole point is to lift it. Because by lifting it, by examining it, there's quite a thing with the problem, but I'm finding a good thing to do is write it down. Examine it from different ways. Look at it. Look at it from different angles. Just like the weightlifter is lifting it, he's feeling it. He's sensing that weight. Drops it. You think about it, you write about it. You look at it again. You go in a quiet place and you look at this problem. It repeats itself over and over. And when it comes with certain feelings, level of anxiety, worry, fear. It never comes on its own, right? It always has little partners with it. You know, like fear, anxiety, brings hypertension. You know, it's never on its own. It's you know, it needs company. And you take a good, you know, measure of it. Write it down. Make a habit of writing it down. Looking at it. And then the other thing is, when you're writing it down, is like thinking, well, what is the opposite of this? What is the very opposite of this that I want? Make a note, write it down. Or leave it there. Keep weighing it up. It's a problem, but you've got to turn it into a fuel. Because fuel makes things move from A to B to C to D to Z, right down to Z. And as a weightlifter, they drop that weight. And then the next thing you know, that they're lifting it just to the ankle. And sometimes you can't lift it any further, because you just can't understand why it's coming back over and over again. But you just drop it again, think about it, write it down, pray about it, be honest with it in your prayer. My God, what is this about? It's not about why. I've overcome the why. I'm now in the zone of how and what. How am I going to overcome this? How am I going to move this? And what am I going to do to do it? So then you think that the weightlifter, they've got, in their practice, they've got the chalk the hands. And then the next thing they know, they move it, and this week they're able to move it to the knee. What's happening to that problem? That boulder. You've divided it. You've looked at it from different perspectives. You've written it down. You've reviewed it from different point of views. And then you've got it to your knee now. You drop it. And you bring it to prayer again. But you prayed about it 1,000,000 times, but it's still coming. So action is required. Faith without works is dead. You know what it is that you want, the opposite of it. You've got it, you've nailed it, it's right in front of you. But getting to that point. It's not just sometimes about an overnight miracle. Sometimes it's training that sits, because it's so deep. When it's finished, you're going to sit so deep and so strong. So that weightlifter now has got the weight to his knee or her knee. And they're breathing and they're panting and they think, I've got you to this point. Then they drop it. Then often when they drop it, they walk away from it. Sometimes we need to take our attention away from the problem. Walk away from it. Don't give it the attention, because it's had enough attention. And then, like the weightlifter, we're going back to it. And then they begin the lift. And they've got it to the navel, to the middle of their waist. That begins to feel a lot different to when it was, the weight of it was a lot different. The perspective of it is a lot different from when it was on the floor and they could only get to the ankle point. Right? So what is it about when it's here? You begin to assess it. You know how it's maneuvered. You're understanding it some more. And you hold it for so long. And you put it down. But underneath that fuel, what is going on for that weightlifter? What is going on for you in your life? Or me in my life? What else is going on now? By lifting. Be understanding it. Yes, absolutely. You can write that down. There you have it. We're getting a different type of strength. But it's not a strength that is wishy-washy. It's very deep. It has depth. It's not flimsy. See that strength that's coming? That's the fuel. The engine is the petrol. It's full. And it's making its way to the engine. The center. And then as the weightlifter, then next time, we've moved her from that position where she's there. She just got the heavy weight in her now. She's moved into a position where she's halved it. She's got it on either side. She's maneuvering it. Feels like to begin with, it's maneuvering her. But now she's maneuvering it. And she's crouched. And she took it to her chest. But to take it to her chest, she's adopted a different posture. She's adopted a different posture. So in that training room of faith and strength, we begin to see that problem, that recurring problem, in a different way. We begin to different perspective. And it's important to adopt that posture now. Because after you've got adopt that posture, and you begin to see it and feel it, you've got a relationship with that weight, with that problem. You can see it. And also, and some weeks the weightlifter just, for as many weeks as possible, just adopt posture, because that's getting strength. Strength in the backbone, strength in the hips, strength in the feet. So that fuel, that thing that was once a massive problem, you can see in it now as your fuel for success. And you're holding on. And the fact is that you can hold on strong. And you're posturing. So you're coming in with faith. Faith takes up a certain position. And you can reference back to on my other podcast about Jesus and the fig tree and his position of his faith. It didn't move that faith. He kept that faith. Don't matter what the situation, don't matter the climate, don't matter the season. You keep that faith. Just like the weightlifter there. She's now got she's got posturing. She's postured. And faith is a postured position, at a healthy position, at a strong position. It looks in the face of the problem and say, you know what problem? I have you. I totally have you. I know my way around you. I know how to lift you. But this isn't a little tiny little thing. This is a big thing. And you've got to move on. You're moving out. We're going to use you as fuel for the success in this person's life. So then you've got the posture. And then you've got a few weeks of doing that, and you know what's coming. You know what's coming. Because you've aligned your faith. You can see the problem all around it. You've taken the time to review it. Looks at it from different perspectives. Doesn't mean that you're owning it, but you're beginning to hold it. And that problem itself is becoming a part of the fuel. As you begin to, by how many weeks you've practiced that posture of holding it, because you know what's going to happen next. But you're not doing it in a rush. You're taking your time. Because you're anchoring in. Totally anchoring in. Come on. Let's have some comments below. What do you think is going to happen next? What do we think is going to happen next? After weeks of holding the problem. Holding it up so you can feel it, you can see it. This is having an impact and it's pushing on you, you're pushing back. And then, what? Finally, you're going to push that weight. Push it. Push it. Push it. Push it. Above your head. Right above your head. Right above your head. Right above. Right. You've lifted it. Totally lifted it. Lifted it. And you bring it down. You lift it again. Slowly you're bringing it down. Bring it down. And you can drop it on the floor and walk away. What has that problem and that weight become? It's become the fuel for your success. You can hold it up. What was once like a boulder, a massive boulder, as now 2 weights that you, or 4 or 5, or whatever you split it into, that you lifted well above your head. You can see it for what it is. You know the weight, you have the relationship with it, you can see it from every angle. And you push it up. And you hold it up. And you allowed weightlifters have to hold it up for a certain time, so they count. And you drop it back. It's finished. It's a fuel for your success. Because when that path comes again, it'll bypass you. There's no room. Because this problem and this weight has not been dealt with in a flimsy, easy to brush off way. It's required depth. You've given it depth. You've given it thought. Your faith has been engineered and backwards engineered, forward engineered in a way that you'd never thought even possible. And now you're holding it above your head. You've triumphed. And you can write again. Because this time you'll write your triumph. You'll write the way that you got there. And you'll make a note. And you've got place markers for everything. You know what it was like when you couldn't lift it. You know what it was like when it was just at your ankle. You know what it was like when it was at your knee. You know what it was like at your waist. It bent you over, nearly distorted you. You know what it's like when you had to drop it and walk away from it and think about it and recalibrate. You know what it was like when it was to your waist. You know what, to drop it. Slowly drop it. The powder was everywhere. You powdered your hands again. You tighten your waist, the belt around your waist again. And you lifted it to right, and you're crouching in that posture. You're posturing. You're ready. You're nearly ready. And you practice it over and over again, and then you finally lifted the weight above your head. And you kept it there as your triumph. And you take it back down, and you lift it, and you bring it back down. Slowly down, and you're going to drop it and walk away. And that very problem that come to overwhelm you and overtake you, you've used it as a fuel for your success. And no one's going to define that success. Only you know what that success is. It could be a relationship. It can be financial. It can be a journey that you want to go on. It can be anything that you apply to. So take a moment and write down. If it's a journey, say, my journey. My journey is complete. And now this big massive boulder has become literally stones in your hand that you can play with. In fact, as you lift over and over and over again, it's so light. You've reached such a milestone that now it feels like the pebbles that you use when you're by a lake or a river, and you pick up the pebble at the side and you skim the water, and it's traveling, and it's making a massive ripple for the good, for your life, and for the lives of anyone that touches your life. And you've used the problem to create and to fuel your success. So thank you for coming. And this is powerful, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate you coming by to the Strong Day podcast. And looking forward to seeing you on the next podcast. Please like and subscribe and share this with someone else that might be encouraged by this and also want to be a member of the Strong Day podcast family. Thank you, and see you the next time on the Strong Day podcast.